right, folks, welcome to the first ever Agritechnica AgWarriors podcast. This is not a fancy recording studio. Is it? Have you been on a podcast before?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been, yes.
In a real studio?
Yes, one time in a real studio, and that was in the US, yeah.
Okay. Whose studio?
That was from Farm Bureau in, I think it was Illinois.
Farm Bureau in Illinois.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to, I know Marcus. I can't say your last name.
Holtkötter.
Say it again?
Holtkötter. Yeah.
Still not, mine's bad. It's Matuszewski, and I think it's really easy, but say it slow for me.
Holtkötter.
Holtkötter.
Yes.
Marcus, I'm joined by Marcus Holtkötter, which is my first German guest. You are the first, and we're in Germany for Agritechnica, and I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, so we'll come to Germany.
Thank you. It's my third time. And third time. 2017 I came, and I just tried to walk the show and get a feel for it. It was crazy. I got stuck in some pubs, we'll say, and that was a whole nother thing. And then 2019, I didn't come. I wasn't ready to exhibit. 2021, I was ready to exhibit, but COVID.
Yeah.
So 2023 was the first time I exhibited, and now we're here launching a new product. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So it's the biggest farm show in the house in the world. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And you need a few days to see everything.
I tell people there's a couple tips if you go to Agritechnica, because it's so much bigger than what anyone can imagine. And wear good shoes because your feet are going to hurt. Don't try to eat lunch at lunchtime. Eat it at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. because the lines are crazy. And if you go at 2 p.m., it's going to be hard because everybody's going to be drunk by then. And so there's a lot of beers drank in Germany.
Yeah, so we have so many breweries. So I think in Germany 2,500 around that.
2,500 breweries in Germany.
Yes, not only in Germany.
Yeah, that makes sense. German beers. So let's talk about you. Where did you? I know the name, but I can't pronounce it. So where were you born? Where's the family farm, etc.?
Yeah, so I'm located in the northwest of Germany, very close to the Dutch border. The town is called Holtkötter. It's a very small town. This area is called Münsterland. It's an area, there's a lot of farms, smaller farms from the size. And normally every farmer has livestock farming.
And you used to have livestock, which we'll get to, but you're a 14th generation.
Yeah.
So when did the farm, because that's crazy. Like in the North America, fifth, sixth generations, pretty cool. 14?
Yeah, so but that's for my area, it's normal. So on our farm, the oldest building is from 1817. So a good friend of mine, very close to me, he has a building from 1100 on his farm.
1100. What generation is that?
You can calculate out. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's
old.
It's old.
Yeah.
So our farm is so these typical farm in the Münsterland area, smaller ones. When I started by my own farming, so take over the farm for my father. At that time, we had also cattle, so not only pigs. My father stopped in 2000 with dairy cows. So at that time, we were the absolute typical farm, 25 to 30 dairy cows, 80 sows, a few chickens, beef cattle, and 80 to 100 sows. So that was a typical farm in our area, from everything a little bit. And then my decision was more, I want to grow in pig farming in South because we have not so much arable land. And that's depending on our rules. So because
there's a lot of rules in Europe.
Yeah, so we have for everything a rule.
Yeah.
That makes it or it makes it most difficult to grow. So if you want to grow with pigs or with livestock farming, you need arable land for the manure. So you have to show the governor here, we will grow, but we have more land now. I rent it or buy it, and then you can grow this livestock farming.
So you have to be able to show the government that you have enough land to be able to grow crop on, to use your manure from the pigs. Yeah. So what the government wants you to do is be fully self-sufficient, or what's the...
No, that's more an idea behind, so that comes from the few years earlier, that they think, okay, we have to take care of the environment, and farmers getting too big, especially these pigs and chicken farmers, and they want to stop. They call it industrial farming. They want to stop these farms, and then they come to the rule. So it's not allowed to have more than 170 kilogram nitrogen per hectare from livestock. So that's crazy. When we are in an area with very high yields, so with 170 kilo, you cannot feed your wheat, you cannot feed your corn. That means sometimes you have too much manure. You bring that manure to your neighbor, pay him that he get it, and then you go to the dealership and buy nitrogen fertilizer to make sure that your crops can grow perfect.
So
that's
a major struggle. So you pay your neighbor to take your manure, and then you pay the dealer to bring you
nitrogen.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Perfect. Government.
The government maybe, but that makes it very complicated in our area to grow. But we have to deal with that. That was my decision. Okay, I go to sow farming, because with sow farming you have not so much land you have to use for a lot of sows, but it's a lot of work, and normally it pays off.
So you took the farm over from your father. Let's go way back though. Like, what did the first generation of your farm, what did they grow?
So in that times it was, they had wheat, barley. In
1817 they had wheat, barley.
Yeah, it was not really wheat.
Right.
Kind of wheat. Grass. So the most was land for grass. So they had on the farm maybe 2 or 3 cows, not more. 1 or 2 pigs. So that was, at that time, it was a very small farm, and it belongs to a bigger farmer. So who was the guy who has to select the tax in the area from all the farms?
Okay.
So when they work for him normally on the day, and then in the evening they do the work on their own farm. And that was, when it comes later, these bigger farms never started to work by their own. And these smaller farms, they have work hard.
Right.
A lot of hours. So, and that was the reason why these small farms starts to grow. Then they become independent and grow more livestock farming, because they had not so much land.
Yeah.
And then it comes to that every few years they can buy a little bit or rent a little bit land. So
and just keep growing it.
Keep slowly growing.
And you're 400 hectares now.
No, not hectares.
Acres.
Acres. It was
400 acres.
It was 180 acres.
Yeah.
So that was wheat, barley, corn.
Yep.
Canola or winter rapeseed.
Yep.
For our area. So that's a typical crop rotation we have.
And so it was 180. Now you're 400.
No. Now I'm a little bit down, because we stopped this livestock farming. So I had on top we had around about 300 sows and 3,000 fattening places.
Oh.
So closed herd.
Yeah.
So every pig was born in our own farm and go to the fattening barn and then to the market.
So why'd you stop that?
Because of the rules.
Here we're back to the rules again.
Yeah, back to the rules.
Yeah.
So we will have new rules in beginning of next year. It starts. for sow farming. That means you have in the barn for the waiting area, and then the next will be the weaning barn. You have to give them a lot of more space. You are not longer allowed to keep them in a very small area, so that the pig has to turn around. So big has it to be. But with that, we have to rebuild all our buildings. And I see at the moment with that the problems, because the price for land goes extremely up.
Yep.
So it costs a lot of money to rent land. Rebuild these barns. 10 years ago, we do the same. So that was the last time we had to do it.
So they made rules 10 years ago.
And now it was. So 5 years ago, they say, okay, in 5 years, you have to go that direction. First it was 3 years, then they go to 5 years. But in that time, they changed the rules. So that means that these guys who 5 years ago makes a decision, okay, we will go directly to that rules, have now the problem that the barn is not for the rules. Because they changed in these 4 years the rules a little bit, what they have the idea next year. And that was for me, okay, what's happened? You have ready the barn, and then they say, we see there a little bit problem. We had to adjust it a little.
So what happens if you build now and in 5 years they change it all again?
You have to change it again.
Right. That makes it very difficult.
It makes it very difficult, and on top of this, the rules we have not only for pig farm, also how you handle the manure in the field, how you have to deal with everything from the European government. It's not only the German government.
Right.
So it makes it very hard, very difficult. Then one of our landlords where we rent the farmland from, they asked, okay, maybe you can keep the land, but the old buildings, so we had rented barns for fattening pigs. Yeah. We want to build living rooms because they are very close to the town. I can understand that because it's easy money.
Yeah.
But with that, they want to have pigs on the farm because it smells.
Yep.
Yeah. But
are the farmers getting squeezed out in Europe? Like, are they getting pushed out? Is the government pushing farmers out? And if so,
yes. In the Netherlands, they pay you money if you stop with livestock farming forever, the whole family. So we are not allowed to start in the future again. They pay you money. They buy you out.
How much money?
I don't know. What's a real? So there was a few big farms, very big farms with thousands of fattening places who makes a decision. Okay,
we're done.
We're done. We can take the money and stop.
What does that do to the price of pork? What does that do to the price of grain? Like, if they're pushing you out or forcing you not to farm, it seems like now you have to import, and that comes with a cost.
Yeah, and that's normally you have to think, okay, hey, these farmers go out and we get more, but it's not happened.
Right.
So the grain market is mostly on the market what's worldwide.
Yep.
The small top on because our area needs more grain than we can grow. So that means grain and corn comes to our area. For pigs, Germany exports a lot of pig meat, but also imports a lot of pig meat because we like a few very special kinds of meat.
I mean, sausage is a big deal in Germany.
Schnitzel,
I had schnitzel last night. It's delicious. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but these parts will be imported. So we are, I think, since 15 or 20 years, we have not enough piglets for our fattening farms in Germany. So that means a lot of piglets comes from Denmark.
They're importing piglets, and then they're being fattened here.
But it's a German pig.
Then it's a German pig, yeah. So if the farm started in 1817, that means it's been through 2 world wars.
Yeah.
Did the war touch the family farm?
No. A few fields, yes, but not the farm.
Not the farm.
So we have farm ground with there was bombs.
Yeah.
So because we are very close to the big town Münster. So Münster was hit in the Second World War very hard.
Yeah.
Very hard. And sometimes when the planes come back and they have a few bombs, they get rid of that. Though that's the farm directly was not affected. It's a battlefield fields.
Interesting. As you were talking about it, I was just thinking in my head. I was like, obviously Europe's very volatile now with what's happening with Russia and the Ukraine. And as where you were describing where your farm was, I was thinking the Allies were flying right over,
they
directly over it. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are 10, 15 kilometers away from Münster, from this big town.
Wow. And they bombed.
They was mostly destroy the whole town from Münster.
Wow, that's crazy. So what was it like growing up? Did you know when you were a boy, like you have Hansel, is he going to be a farmer?
No, he starts now as an agriculture technician. So in Germany, you normally do a 3-year training. So that's also to become a farmer. It's not I'm now starting as a farmer. So that means you go 3 years in a training program, normally on 3 different farms. So 1 year, 1 farm. Have 1 or 2 days school per week. So a special school for agriculture. And then at the end, you're doing the test. And if you get it, then you can call you as a farmer.
Wait a minute. So you're telling me that after school, you have to go through a program to become a farmer. He can't just be like, Dad, I want to farm and start after school and start working. Then he wouldn't be called a farmer.
No. So that's not only with farming. So that's the same with you want to be a technician. You want to be electrical.
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, you have to be an electrician. It makes sense. You're playing with electricity. You probably have to go learn how to do that.
But you have to learn all these rules and how to do.
Yeah, I guess.
Rules.
Yeah.
So for me it makes sense, and this idea that you went to different farms.
Yes, you learn different things.
You learn different things. You go in the best case in different areas in Germany. So when you normally would say, okay, now I will to start farming, and you stay directly at home, you're bringing new ideas from outside.
Right.
So you're doing the same as the last 3 generation in front.
So where did you go for your training?
I was it was Münsterland area, but it was roundabout in Hauer from our farm away. So 3 different farms. Stay there. So normally that's a little special in farming. You stay there in the family for this year.
So are you still friends with the family?
Yes. Yeah. No, you become friends. You have normal every year contact to them. You make friends in the whole area there because you are together in school normally with a lot of more farmers. So that's a little bit you start very early to creating your own network.
Yeah,
it's in a bigger area, and that's why I love this farm show here, because where I got study agriculture later, when I'm in this training program, they all over Germany. So,
but you all meet here.
Everybody you will meet here in the next few days. Yes,
that's cool.
Yes. And that's very nice.
So at first I thought it was crazy what you were talking about, that you couldn't just be a farmer, but I actually really like this because of exactly what you said. Is you're going to have new knowledge, but you're going to build your network.
Yeah.
What was can you identify one thing that you learned when you were on those training farms that you brought back to your farm?
There was. So at that time, it was not normal that you have in the barn, computer program for handling the pigs, so with birds and everything.
Yeah.
And that was one of the farmer was there a little bit earlier, and that was one of the first stuff I bring back to home, to my farm, so that not like my dad in paperwork.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier, it saves time, you get a better overview, and that's sometimes these small things brings you a big value. It saves you time. It saves you money at the end.
That's one of the craziest statements that it rings so true in agriculture is a small little change can make a very big difference, and not just on big farms. No. A small change can make a big difference on a little farm.
Yeah, especially on these. So at that time, especially for us as a small farm, I would say in that time, 80 to 90% of the time you are in the barn with this sow farm. That's only a small part you are on the field. And using that technology, using a computer at that time, PC, for handling the data in the barn, it saves your time, and that means at the end you have more time for family, or also all for keeping care of the pigs.
Yeah.
And when you're having more of this real data, you see, okay, that sow is not so fine, it's not so good. It goes out after the next time. I will go. Let's go to the slaughterhouse.
Right.
And this one is always very nice. So then go ahead. You stay a little bit longer. So that brings you directly money in your pocket.
Yeah. Yeah, and data is king in agriculture, and I think the more data that a farmer has, now that's where it also gets tricky too, because what you have to pay for that data now becomes a big deal as far as the profit at the end of the year.
Yeah, so that's when I'm starting with agriculture. There was no PC, so my first computer was a Commodore C64.
Yeah, Commodore 64.
And then I got an.
That was more for video games, though, wasn't it? Yeah.
What we call at that time,
right?
Video games.
It's not video games like they play now.
I laugh about that. But when you see them, it comes to the first real PC of the farm. It was a 286. That was the first one, and we start with this first programs for the farm, this data collection. At that time there was nothing.
Yeah.
So we start them with programs for our fields. To getting the data together. So when you have guys that comes to the farm and say, hey, we want to see the paperwork, it makes it easier to show them.
Yeah.
So that was at that time a lot of different how farming looks now. That's only what I saw. And when I say to my father, when he was a child, he saw not in our farm, by a neighbor. They work with a horse, plow the field with a horse. And now he was, the last time some few years ago, he stopped this driving the sprayer.
Yeah.
So that was normally his work. He likes that. And at that time, he goes with a sprayer to the field. With everything, what you can have. Nozzle control with
everything,
GPS system, everything on it.
Yeah.
So it's so crazy in only one generation what he saw from working with a horse to a high-tech machine, what we have now.
So what's in one generation from now? What do you think it's going to be like?
Yeah, so that's I don't know. So I'm sometimes I'm a little bit worried. What could be happening next? So when we hear, we see autonomous tractors, but when we see how long they talk about autonomous tractors, and it's not so much happened in the last 10 years. So when I see these 10, 15 years in front, what's happened from coming from a tractor from the 80s to now, it was about 10 to 15 years. What
right
happens with all the high tech. I think in the last years, there was not so much. I see a little bit more in Europe, or in Germany, especially Germany, we have the problem. They are more thinking about the environment than for food production.
Yeah.
So if that's a real what we need, I don't know. That was one reason I have two sons, one daughter, and I ever told them, hey, you can become a farmer, and you can produce food for Germany, but maybe not in Germany. Because of our rules.
Yeah.
So when you see farming worldwide, sometimes in other countries it could be easier.
We have our rules too that make it hard.
Yeah, so I'm thinking a lot more few to the east countries. But on the other hand, we have a very great program to train young farmers. So these 3 years on the farm, then go into university, studying agriculture. Yes, that's 6 years in school or in training. But you learn a lot and you get such a great network. And that can help you in the future a lot. I think that we maybe in 10 years will see more autonomous taking.
Is labor hard to find in Europe?
Yeah, because of that problem.
I think that's autonomy and AI is. I mean, it's certainly what I think is going to be in the future. Just because in most of the developed world and in Europe, North America, Australia, labor is very hard to find.
Yeah. And that's funny when you now look into countries like the Eastern European market, the farmers start having the same problem because more and more big Western Europe companies build up their factories. So and then for them it's very easy. Yeah. 5 day, 8 to 5 job, perfect.
Yeah.
We are not interested to go on the farm for hard work.
What do you like? I mean, we'd be remiss to not talk about the war that's happening in Eastern Europe. How is that affecting the volatility in Europe, in Germany? What is going to happen?
So when the war starts, we've seen prices here for our crops. It was unbelievable. So I get so much money for my canola, for my rapeseed. It was, I don't know, never seen. It was more than a double than normal.
Right.
So we make so much money. And for us, we are very lucky because we had the menu. For everybody who had to buy the fertilizer, it was a problem because it was
because they jacked it up.
It was like a rocket.
Yeah.
And then it was not only like a rocket, but it was also at the end you don't get it because there was nothing.
Yeah.
So that was a problem. I think after the 1.5 year it goes down, it becomes a little bit more normal. And then it comes to that situation that farmers in Ukraine had big problems to go to the market. So for these bigger farms, there were friend farms in Ukraine, very big farm. So for him, it was a little bit easier because he deal directly with the big companies like Hagel and so on.
Yeah.
So he had own trucks, so he can go to the harbor, bring the corn and wheat to a location in Romania maybe. But for these smaller farmers, but these smaller farmers means the farm is 500 to 800 hectares, so a lot bigger than me, but that's
small for Ukraine,
Yeah, for Ukraine. They normally sell the grains in the harvest season, bring them directly.
Yeah, because they don't have storage.
They have storage, and that was at that moment a problem because they can't deliver it.
Yeah,
and then it comes to that a few, especially German bigger dealers, go to Ukraine, bought this wheat to very bad price. For the farmer, it was totally terrible. And then export it to Germany and bring it in Germany on the market also in a bad price. So that, at that moment, for me as a livestock farmer, it was okay because the feed price goes down. But with my heart as a crop farmer, it was bad because, hey.
They're getting screwed.
But that's especially in my area. So because we had these high prices for land. So if you will to rent land, you pay more than 1,000 euros a hectare.
What about to buy?
To buy 120,000 euros.
120,000 euros per hectare. That's That's like 60,000 euros per acre, and the euro's more than the dollar right now.
Yeah.
That's like 70,000 US dollars per acre. That's really, really hard.
But it's only because of the livestock farm. If you go to this area here around Hanover or to the more to the east, eastern Germany, and that's crazy. You have in eastern Germany these very big fields.
Yeah.
300, 200 hectares, one field. In my area, 3 hectares, 5 hectares, one field. But they pay less than the half.
In Eastern Germany, because there's no livestock.
Yes, there's not so much livestock. So in my area, it's only these high prices because of livestock. So you cannot make money with crop farming in my area.
So what are you going to do? Because you're not livestock farming anymore.
So yeah, that's a little bit with our own land. So I'm looking for maybe different opportunities, but not in Germany. At the moment, I work also for GEA, so a big company in Germany. So in Germany, mainly now for milking equipment, milking robots and milk powders. In North America also, and it's GEA Hull, so manure, the manure equipment. And I'm doing more on the manure part, helping farmers to grow and getting new ideas in different countries.
So you're doing that, like
handling this manure.
Some consulting then?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Interesting. That makes it very difficult to be a farmer with high land prices, changing rules, and I mean, at least we think we have high prices in North America, but clearly not necessarily as high. And our rules are changing, but not like that, not that fast. Does the government do any good?
So we had our half year. We had a change in the government.
Yep.
So in front of that, we had a green minister. That was terrible. The years in front it was crazy. So only the ideas how I supporting organic farming, how I support the environment, and so it was not ideas for 80% or 90% of the farmers. Now we had a little bit more discussion on, I would say, science-based discussion, but also environment is a high topic. So it's not like, okay, we have now a minister from the CDU, everything changed. No. So when you're in areas like northern Germany, when you're talking about more areas, they think about, okay, we have to get it wet again, so that the farmers have to find a different solution to farm in that area. That means at the end the farmer has to go. That's ongoing, maybe not so fast, but I think that's a discussion, because we are, especially Western Europe, and then you especially see these countries, Netherlands, France, Germany, they are rich. They have a lot of industry, and farming is not so a main topic.
Right.
That's why when you see Netherlands, they buy out farmers, because they want more living room and industry. And that's in Germany, maybe it's a little bit the same. Farming is not seen as 100, we have to do that. It's, we can do that, and it's not, okay, we import because we have the money.
It's so interesting to think about this, and to think about, how many small farms there are, how old Europe is, because when I look, so I've traveled a lot now. I've been in Brazil. I was in Brazil 42 days this year. Obviously, I'm in North America all the time. So Brazil is 500 years old. Massive farms. They have very big farms. Europe is much older, and they used to have big farms. Now they're a whole bunch of little farms. So I've been, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, does North America farms, we're half as old as Brazil, does it start to become very big farms like Brazil is, which we're seeing more and more big corporate farms and less smaller farms. But then, is it going to shift back to little farms like Europe has? Because it's kind of a mind. It messes with the mind to think about it.
Yeah, but I think that what's happening in Germany and Europe, farms getting also bigger. So some farms were lucky because they have a little bit more own land, or they lucky because their neighbors stopped earlier, so they can get the land, or in the area maybe there are not so many other farmers with livestock. Then in the last few years, you have in a few areas more and more stopped with livestock farming. So that means other farmers had the chance to grow. So that, and then was sometimes a decision, okay, a few farmers started a few years ago with chickens. They was very lucky, these guys. They were very lucky. Also the guys who, I think 5 to 10 years ago, built a new dairy barn. At that moment, it was extremely hard because of very bad prices. But the last 5 years was extremely good for them. So they make a lot of money. I think we will see that these farms, since livestock farming will grow.
Yep.
Who are existing. A few more will step out. We will have a lot of farms who are maybe go back to becoming a part-time farmer. And in the eastern part we have all these big farms.
Yeah.
But it becomes more and more interesting in our area to do special things. So you have a special program. So you get paid from the government to take land out of production, to have a few spots in the middle of the field go out of production for the environment, for birds. Then they pay at the moment, that's a new program, they pay you money to get the pigs out of the barn. So it's open barns, so they get fresh air on straw. So it's a little bit going back to the 50s. But how we can feed the population in Germany with that? No, they have no chance. It's so expensive.
Yeah.
So this production per kilogram, it's so expensive. And then at the other hand, we're talking about the global warming. We will go back, save carbon, better carbon footprint. But with that production, we have the baddest footprint we can have.
Yeah.
So that's so stupid. We are in an area, so we farm in an area with a very good climate, very good soil. I think that our area is one of the areas in the world with the highest yield you can have. We have the manure from the barns, so there is no carbon footprint for the fertilizer, but they destroy these high productive farms. So going less, so you get paid money that you produce less.
Which makes no sense because, I mean, we're seeing it now where the world population, because it was growing, it seems to have stabilized. China's now paying people to not have kids. Their population's elderly, etc. But it's interesting because it is there. World hunger is still a thing. We need to help feed people, and the governments are paying people to not produce as much.
Yeah, and then when you discuss with these green politicians and say, "Hey, that's stupid. Yeah, we have world hunger. Everybody is talking about we will lower the carbon footprint.
Yeah.
Why we do that? Yeah, because Germany don't have to export food. Yeah, but that means we import more food. And means we buy everything on the world.
Yeah.
We have more money than these guys from Africa.
Yeah.
That means the food goes to Germany or to Europe, not to Africa.
And it doesn't change the carbon footprint because somebody else is growing that food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's so stupid. But when you're looking also these very green glasses, you see only this small point. In front of you, everything is nice, and don't care about what's in other areas.
Yeah.
But I think that's a real first world problem for countries is too much money.
So let me ask you this. It's one of the questions I ask everybody that's on this podcast. Let's say you were back training on those, doing your schooling on those 3 farms. What would you today tell, because I don't even know how old you are. I'm going to say you're 35. You're probably older than 35. But what would you tell? 48. Okay, same as me or close. What would you tell the 21-year-old version of yourself? What advice would you give him?
Go out of Germany.
What?
Go out of Germany.
Leave Germany.
Yeah. So I had friends. They studied together with me.
Yeah.
And they are coming not from the farm, or it was the second one. So they had to decide, okay, I have to go out or find a job in the industry. A few of them go to Eastern Europe, and they have now very big, very nice farms. Yeah, they had 10 to 15 very hard years.
Yeah.
Because there was nobody, there was no social contact for the first years. It was not easy to step in. But when I would say what I know today, I will not spend the money in Germany.
Right.
I will go to a different, or second option could be directly start a production in this direction, only for a higher top of people produce food, which they pay a lot for.
Right.
It's not a production for it makes sense for the environment. It makes not sense for the carbon footprint, but they pay money for that. Hey, okay,
right.
If they want it, that could be also
one of those two: leave Germany or only grow food for rich people.
Yeah. With rich people, we are not close enough to these hotspots where you have so many people.
Yeah.
So with 10, 15 kilometers, we are a little bit too far from Münster, but maybe starting our own small shop.
Yep.
But that's the thing that only works for a few farmers.
Yeah, of course.
But when I'm seeing everything now, I would say, hey, this guy who makes selection, I go out. It was very well. That's the thing.
Do you encourage your kids to go? Are you encouraging your kids to leave Germany?
If they finish their program, so he will also when with our second one, Anton, when he finished his training as an agriculture mechanic, so his idea is also to leave for 1 year or half a year, go out of Germany to see.
And you'll tell him, don't come back. Stay there.
Maybe. I don't
Find
know.
a Canadian girl.
Maybe.
Oh, that's funny.
A friend in Brazil, he was, hey, send him over to me, but he will not come back. I need these guys.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I could hook you up with a bunch of farms in Canada where they would say, we'll keep them for sure.
Yes.
The German work ethic is certainly something that I think where I live, we have a lot of Germans that came from Germany, and they work hard.
Yeah, and that's when we see these farms, so these guys who stepped out, they bring a very good knowledge. They have seen so lot, and they are interested to do work.
Yeah.
And they come from farms. So today I would say yes, I would go out. But at that moment, I was no, I never was. It was a little bit more than 30 years ago, was open to the eastern part of Germany.
Yeah.
That was the same. There was the same happen. These guys who make the decision, okay, we go to the eastern part of Germany. Yes, the first 10 years were very hard for them.
Yeah.
So then it's easier to stay at home. But now they have very nice farms, and that's definitely also farms for the future. Maybe not with livestock farming because the same rules as we have. But there you can make money with herbal land.
So last question, and I've asked everybody that's on my podcast this, so your answer can be anything. And because I named the podcast AgWarriors, I asked people, what would be your weapon of choice? So you're the first German I've asked this question. I've had so many people. I've had guns. I've had people tell me their charisma. I've had people tell me their heart. It can literally be anything. If you were to pick, if you had to go into a battle, what would your weapon of choice be? Knowledge. Why?
Because I think with a weapon you can kill, yes. But with knowledge you can do a lot more. And maybe sometimes it's how you fight. It's more important than having a weapon.
Okay. I like that. Knowledge. Thank you so much for coming on this podcast.